on to the next speaker of the symposium. We have Ketu Ramachandrasekhar ji. Dr. Ketu Ramachandrasekhar is the Deputy Director Academics, Siddhanta Knowledge Foundation, recognized IKS Teachers Training Center and IKS Division, Ministry of Education. Throughout his academic pursuits, he has demonstrated a keen interest in Indian epistemology, culminating in his doctorate in the field. His exemplary performance earned him the esteemed Prince of Wales Medal for scholarly rigor during his tenure at the University of Madras. Dr. Ramachandrasekhar serves as an expert panel member, offering valuable insights and guidance to prestigious institutes such as the Sangeet Natak Academy. In addition to his academic laurels, Dr. Ramachandrasekhar has adorned the stage as an actor in Sanskrit dramas produced by Samskrita Ranga. Selected as an Infosys Fellow under Boris Academic Development Program, Dr. Ramachandrasekhar's contributions extend beyond traditional academia, encompassing interdisciplinary studies in neuroaesthetics and Indian rhetoric. He was also selected amongst 100 young scholars nationwide for specialized studies under the aegis of the Ministry of Culture and Government of India. His participation in academic discussions across Europe and membership in the academic panel at Aix-en-Provence University, France, attest to his global engagement. He has authored several books on Indian literature and culture and has been on the editorial board of several publications. He conducts classes for interested aspirants on Pratyabhijna and Tantric texts. Beyond the confines of academia, Dr. Ramachandrasekhar's practical insights are sought after in matters relating to the practice aspects of Tantra Shastra by esteemed centers of Shakti worship. He attributes all his humble achievements to the guidance and blessings of his revered Guru, Vidyavachaspati Brahmashri Goda Venkateshwara Shastri, whose teachings continue to inspire and shape all his pursuits. Over to you, Ketu Ramachandrasekhar ji. He is going to cover the Tiruvarur Jatra Rathotsavam, which is considered to be one of the biggest jatras of Asia. Over to you.
विशुद्धि ज्ञानदेहाय त्रिवेदी दिव्यचक्षुषे श्रेयः प्राप्ति निमित्ताय नमः सोमार्धधारिणे श्रीमद् रत्न विचित्र कांचन महासिंहासनाधिष्ठित स्वामिन् चंपक मल्लिका वकलसत्कल्हार मालांचित देव श्रीपुरनाथ शंकर चिदानंद प्रकाशाव्यय त्यागाधीश महाप्रभो करुणया भक्तार्तिहन् पाहि. So at the outset, I would like to thank Nagaraj Dorigaru for this opportunity to speak on my Aradhya Devata, Sri Tyagesha, and that too when his Utsava is in progress. So it's a huge topic, and I shall try to make the best use of the time. I'll quickly spend some 10 minutes of the talk to speak about the greatness of this Kshetra, and then move on to the other aspects of the Utsava. So Tiruvarur is located near the Nagapattinam district, near the Mayiladuthurai district. So it is that Kaveri delta. And very important to know that when Sri Shekilar in his Periya Purana composes using the Tamil compositional structure, he has to speak about Desha, he has to speak about a city, a Pura, and he chooses to speak about the Chola Desha. And when it comes to the city, he does not mention Chidambaram, he does not mention Tanjavur or any other place, but he takes Tiruvarur as the city for the description. So Tiruvarur has been considered to be a very important kshetra. We'll come to that. It is considered to be a place where the Janma ensures that there is no further Janma. So what can people like us speak about the greatness of the kshetra which eradicates the next Janma itself, which is very beautifully captured in the verse. Janmeva Janmantara Rodhiyatra Karoti Jantum Yadi Shaiva Mukhyam Vakshyami Valmika Visheshitasya Mahisthalasya Asya Katham Mahat. So coming to the temple complex, it's one of the largest temple complexes, spread over 30 acres of land, has very tall gopuras, four tall gopuras in each of the cardinal directions, and the one which was built by Kulottunga III. So it is very historically rich with more than 113 inscriptions, and which has been nurtured right from the early Cholas all the way up to the Marathas. So the current Maratha ruler happens to be one of the most important persons to be referred to, and the Marathas of the Tanjavur have taken Tyagesha as their Kuladevata itself. So it has been continuously under the patronage of various dynasties in Tamil Nadu. So the one constructed by Kulottunga III, the East Gopura, is the tallest and very rich in inscriptions and sculptures as well. It has multiple mantapas, uh, various shrines, and the Aditya or the Ratha, which is considered to be the largest wooden chariot. And this particular Kshetra has two important Devata Vishesha. One is Sri Tyagesha, the other is Kamalamba. Though they are located in the same compound, Kamalamba Sannidhi is considered to be an independent shrine by itself. And Tiruvarur is considered to be the Shaiva Adipitha. In the sense, in the times when when the Shaiva was a very prominent path of devotion, any decision taken in Tiruvarur was considered to be binding upon all the Shaivas residing anywhere in any part of the world. And also, when it came to Chidambaram and Tiruvarur, Chidambaram is considered to be, or when in the Shaiva tradition, the moment you say Kovil in the Tamil Shaiva traditions, Kovil refers to only Chidambaram. But when it is Pungovil, it is Tiruvarur. So between the two, one peculiar thing that I want to point out here is to show how important Tiruvarur is, how important and independent it is. In any part, whenever the Tirumurais, which Shardaji was talking of, whenever the Tirumurai recitation takes place, it begins with a single line, Tiruchitrambalam, which denotes the Chidambara, the Chidambara Kshetra. Whereas in Tiruvarur alone, it does not start with Tiruchitrambalam. So if you are singing, for example, the Tirumurai in any temple in any part of India or world for that matter, it has to start with the word Tiruchitrambalam. Does not mean it has to be sung in Chidambaram only that way. But in Tiruvarur alone, it is Aarur Tyagaraja. So why? The answer is normally given by the Shaivacharyas that since Vagisha Nayanar or Tirunavakkar or Appar Swamigal, as he is very popularly known, when he visited Tiruvarur, he was struck by the antiquity of the place and he was wondering. So, normally, when we come to a place and we want to sort of date it, we try to relate it to a particular incident. So, if we are in a city and you are locating a particular landmark there, you say, okay, was this landmark built during that occasion or and why occasion? So, regarding Tiruvarur, when did the Lord inhabit Tiruvarur? Upper is wondering. He says, Oruvanai ulagetta nindranadu. That is, did this kshetra come into existence when even before the Srishti, Shiva existed as only as in his Kevala Swarupa, Uruvanai, when he was just one? Or did it happen the moment he uh, uh, he expanded himself, he manifested himself from Shiva to Shakti and to Sadashiva, from Ishvara and from Sri Kantarudra. Sri Kantarudra trifurcates himself into the Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra. So when one became three, at that point, did you manifest yourself in Tiruvarur? And he just gives many more instances. This is the last piece, is the most important one. He says, "Kuttai Aduvan Uguvadarku Munno Pinno." Did you come to Tiruvarur before Nataraja danced or after? So, since this is a doubt raised by Appar Swamigal, whether Tiruvarur was inhabited with the Lord before or after Chidambaram, in Tiruvarur alone, Tiruchitrambalam is not resided. So, this is an interesting point which is made to show how old this particular kshetra is. And this is another famous thing. Darshanat Abhrasadasi, Jananat Kamalalaye, Kashyam Tumaranat Mukti, Smaranat Arunachale. So when you have the Darshana of Abhrasadas, that is Chidambara, or if you are born in Kamalalaya, Kashyam Tumaranat Mukti, and Arunachale, Smaranat Arunachale. By mere remembrance of Arunachala Kshetra, one is ensured of Mukti. So Aruril Pirakka Mukti. Anyone who is born in Arur is ensured mukti. Now, there are multiple interpretations to this, whether it means only physical birth or does it mean something else in a yogic, because the entire kshetra is full of yogic symbolism. To make it very, very clear, as a matter of Shraddha, uh, after the Periya Puranam was first sung in Chidambaram, we find uh, the sculptural reference in the Darasuram temple, so which was built almost 40 to 60 years after the Periya Puranam was composed. Periya Puranam is a literature or the hagiography of the Shaiva saints, 63 Nayanmars. There, after describing the 63 Nayanmars, there are the other Toheyadiyars, there is other generic uh, uh, devotees of Shiva. So Tiruvarur, those who are born in Tiruvarur are also considered as the Shivanadiyar, as the devotees of Shiva. How to describe, how to picturize this in a temple? It's a small panel. We have to remember it's a micro panel. And the depiction will be that of the temple gopura, tree, a bird, and man sitting underneath the tree, an animal, a cow standing next to it. Which means anything, not just the human, whether it is a tree, whether it is an avian, whether it is a quadruped, anything born in Tiruvarur is ensured mukti. To drive that point, that particular sculpture reference is made that in that particular manner. So taking literally or understanding that literally is what was done in the Darasram temple. So quickly coming to the, so it is also very important from the Siddhanta point of view, the Shaiva Siddhanta and the Pashupata Siddhanta point of view, because it attracted quite a many scholars to itself. One of the most important Shaiva mathas in the medieval, which is the Golaki Matha, which had its headquarters at the in the Madhya Pradesh near the Omkareshwar Kshetra, had its branch matha in Tiruvarur, which was called as the Southern Golaki Matha at Tiruvarur. And we have inscriptional references to show who had established this particular matha. It was established by Brahmashivacharya, who hailed from the Gauda Desha. Teshvekaha Gauda Deshiyaha Praptavan Kamalayam. And there are many other inscriptional references, which shows that not just the Golaki, but the other Shaiva mathas, such as the Mattamyura Matha, the Guhavasi, they also had their presence in Tiruvarur. So Tiruvarur was a thriving Shaiva Siddhanta center during the medieval times, especially after the Cholas' patronage of the Shaiva saints from the medieval and the eastern parts of the India. So the Ajapa Natana, which was referenced in the thing, we'll try to see more about that. So while describing the Tyagesha, Sri Appar Swamigal describes his Sharanagati Tattva in a very, very beautiful metaphorical language, wherein he speaks about a dancing girl who hears the name, and then she asks about how the Lord of Tiruvarur would look. Then more about the place of Tiruvarur. Then she was so enthralled and enchanted that she completely left behind her relatives, completely left behind her decorum, and to an extent that she completely forgot herself. Tannai Marandal, and finally just merged into the feet of the Lord. Talaipattal Nangi Talaivan Thad. Now, this is not just the usual Naik, not anywhere, even the Naika Nayaka Bhava that is explained in the various songs have to be understood from the philosophical point of view more than just the literal point of view. This is my humble opinion. Here, it is a very clear step by step guidance which Appar Swamigal gives. So, starting from the Mantropadesha, which is Namam Ketad, and the final merging with the Devata Vishesha is described, and this is what is enacted in this 55-day long Utsava. So it is a progressive wherein the culmination happens in the devotee attaining the holy feet of Sri Tyagesha. So coming to the temple, other shrines, there are multiple, almost 365 Shiva Linga Pratishthas that we come across, one for each day. And this thing is that in Madurai, there are 64 Tiruvilayadal, no, the Leelas that the Shiva, which was very beautifully captured in the Sanskrit by um, 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 in the Shiva Leela Champu by Neelakanta Dikshita. But in Tiruvarur, it is not 64, it is 360. So he performs one Leela per day. So, uh, so anything about Tiruvarur is Vishesha, something which is unique. So there are five, and Mutswami Dikshitar, who was born and who dedicated himself to the Lord of Tiruvarur, has sung the Panchalinga Kritis of the five important shrines within the Tiruvarur, the Valmikanatha, Achaleshwara, Siddheshwara, Hatakeshwara, and the Anandeshwara. Another unique aspect of Tiruvarur is that it is a very, very old city in Tamil Nadu. And anywhere in Tamil Nadu we go, a Shaiva Kshetra, or even prominent Shaiva Kshetras, you will definitely be able to spot one Vishnu Alaya or Vinnagaram as it is known. But in Tiruvarur, there is not a single Vishnu Alaya. It is explained that the entire temple of Tiruvarur is the Sharira of Mahavishnu, wherein the Shirobhaga is the Garbhagriha. So, when we see Sri Tyagesha, he would not be in the Garbhagriha, he would be in the Ardhamantapa. The Ardhamantapa being the Hridayasthana of Mahavishnu, because that was where he originally was worshipped. Then Mahavishnu had passed on this Tyagesha Murti to Indra, and Indra had given it to Muchukunda, who had brought it to the earth along with six other forms and had established in the places. So these seven places put together are called as Saptavitanka Sthalam. So since Mahavishnu is the entire temple itself, the Sharira of Mahavishnu is considered to be the temple itself. We don't find a single shrine for Mahavishnu. Once again, this idea of Mahavishnu worshipping him in his chest is captured na Srimadankena, that is the Srivatsa, na Kaustubhena, na Chapi Lakshmya mama vaksha etat, Paryapta Kantiti Sarojanabaha Tyageshwaram Yatra Bhavara Bhaktya. So he was first worshipped by Mahavishnu, and then the Tyagesha Murti goes to Indra, and then from Indra's hand it reaches the Muchukunda. So it's a very interesting legend, uh, which we will not have time to go into detail. Coming to the other main shrine is the Valmikanatha, which is Putridam Konda. It's an ant hill, or the termite termite hill structure, which is worshipped as a Shivalinga. And this tradition of worshipping the termite hill is very, very old, which is recognized in the Sangam texts such as Perumbar Natrapadi and other places. So this is one of the Mula Beras there, is the Puttidam Kondar. Whereas Tyagesha's shrine is adjacent to it. Just like Chidambaram, here also there are 5 steps, the Panchakshara steps, which one has to climb. But unlike Chidambaram, where we are not allowed, here everyone can climb through those Panchakshara steps. So one speciality that I want to highlight again in this course of this dialogue is that in Tiruvarur, the importance is given first to the devotees. So here the Lord has put the devotees ahead of himself. So adjacent to it, by getting onto this Panchakshara steps, one can visit the Tyagesha shrine. This is what I was talking about. The Garbha, there is the Ardhamantapa, this thing cannot be photographed, so it is masked. Uh, you will see that the Rishabha is in a standing position, unlike the sitting Rishabha in other places. So this is once again a metallic thing, because the Moola Murti is a Vitanka. It is a metallic uh, image. It's a bronze image. And right opposite to Tyagesha, that is behind this Vrisha, there is the shrine for Sundaramurti Nayanar, who is Nama on the 4, but it's a very, very special place for Sundaramurti Nayanar, because for the sake of Sundaramurti Nayanar, Tyagesha performed certain acts as, as a Vita would do in the Samskrita dramas. He acted as a go-between Sundara Murti Swamigal and Paravenachiyar, his wife. So Sundaramurti Nayanar is considered to be the reflection, because that is how, because in the Kailasha, the reflection of Shiva in the mirror came out in the form of Sundarar. So he was called as Arala Sundarar, because he was the one who brought the Halahala Visha in a small uh, uh, pill form. So since he is the reflection, he's depicted standing right in front of the Tyagesha. Once again, the agamic concept of the Pratibimba, Bimba Pratibimba Vada, Bhava of the Pashu and the Pati. So the main Murti is, for sake of simplicity, let me say Somaskanda. But because um, Upper Swamigal clearly says that it looks like Somaskanda, but it is beyond the 25 Maheshwara Murtis. Ayindin Appalam. That's what he says. It is Ayindin. That is 5 to 5, 25. So he is beyond the 25 Maheshwara Murtas, because it is Maheshwara Murtas from the Shaiva thing point of view. It is from the Shrikanta Rudra that the Maheshwara Murtas comes. But Yagesha is beyond that. So that is the conception of Upper Swamigal. But one can see only the face. One cannot see the feet and everything, and we cannot see the skanda also in between Tyagesha and his consort, who is called as a Kondi there. And this Tyagesha as Somaskanda is a very important thing. I will speak about this towards the end of the talk. And there are two Kamakoshtas, Nilotpalamba and Kamalamba, though Kamalamba is considered to be an independent shrine by itself. So she is seated in a, as Dikshadhar called as Vinoda Charani. In a Utkatikasana, she is seated. So, and there are multiple mantapas which are used even till now for the various utsavas. He is called as Tyagaraja because he is the king of one who has made sacrifices, because he has sacrificed himself for the sake of devotees here. And like I mentioned, if you want to add anything, you have to add that in Tiruvarur, everything is unique. For example, we all know that Modi ji had made it very popular in his suit, having his name embroidered in a very small letters. But the precursor for all this, the trendsetter was our Tyagesha. So even now in his dress, you will find Tyagesha, Tyagesha embroidered, very, very fine embroidery work done there. So, and he wears a Krishna Gandha, which is called as Tiruchand, which is called as Tyaga Vinoda. So everything is Tyaga there. Okay, so his treasury is called as Tyaga Vinoda Pandara. So his Vitana, everything is a special thing. In Rajendra Chola, we come across that the references that Rajendra Chola renovated the temple and made it completely covered it with gold. Uh, and the place where he stood and worshipped along with um, his lady love, Paravai, he wanted to uh, uh, make it a remembrance. Therefore, he donated two bronze Pavai Velakku. No, you can see that image. It's like the lady would be holding a lamp in her hand. So, and he even the inscriptions mentions what was the name given to each of those uh, lamps. Pachai Pavai Umainangai and Pavai Sariya Mulainangai. So these are the names given to this. We can still see those two it's in the shrine. And another king uh, is Kulottunga III, whom I mentioned as the one who had constructed the East Gopura, is very, very important with respect to this Tiruvarur Kshetra. And he had also covered the Gopura of Valmikeshwara and had renovated extensively the Devashraya Mandapa, about which we will see again, and records it in the inscription in the East Gopura. This is Valmikeshwara Veswati Nikilam Nirmaya Haimat. So this is a very clear thing. This was after his victory over the Madurai. Using the funds, he had done the renovation of multiple temples, one being the Chidambaram, one being the Thiruvarur, one is the Madurai temple itself, and he had constructed in Tirubhuvanam a new temple. So these were the four temples for which the funds were used. So we see his image as we enter the East Gopura. Not only that, we also see the image of his guru, Ishana Shiva, sorry, Someshwara Shambhu, who was the uh, 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 Acharya of Kulottunga. And in Chidambaram, in Tirubhuvanam, we find a lot of references about his contribution, literary contributions. A very important personal who had written a lot of commentaries and independent Siddhanta manual by name Siddhanta Ratnakar. The reason I wanted to speak about it is in the inscription starts with Lord Tyagesha himself speaking in the inscription, describing the exploits uh, uh, of uh, uh, Tribhuvana Veeradeva Kulotunga III. So, and in that he refers to him as Nam Tolan. Now, this Nam Tolan is something that was reserved till that time to refer to Sundaramurti Nair, who was considered to be the Sakha, the friend of the Lord of Tiruvar. And the importance given to the Adiyar or to the devotees is such that once when Sundaramurti Swamigal entered in a haste, the Adiyars had the Shaiva devotees had assembled in the Devashraya Mandapa. He did not notice and he quickly rushed to have the Darshana of Tyagesha. So, this taking offense to the insult done to the Adiyars, Viranminder was uh, one of the Adiyars there. He was so upset that he said, "We shall now boycott Sundar." When someone told him that, no, it is not possible because he is Nambiran Tolan. He is the friend of our Lord Tyagesha himself. the respect which is due to an Shaiva devotee was so important in the mind of Viranminder. He said, if that be the case, then Tyagesharam Namakkupuram. We boycott Tyagesha also. Now, this is something that, now, very interestingly, when Sundara enters the shrine, Tyagesha says, look what you have done. You have to appease them. Then he says, I do not know how to do that. Then he says, the best way to appease them is to go and sing about them. He says, I am unable to because I am feeling so bad about what I have done. You will only have to help me do that. Then Tyagesha himself gives the first line, after which Sri Sundaramurti Swamigal picks up. It starts with Tillai Valandanar Tamadiyarku Madiye. Now, interestingly, when it was to sing about himself, Lord Shiva had only given the clue of one word, Pitta, as in case of Sundaramurti Swami. Whereas, when it was to sing about the Adiyar, it was one entire sentence, whether it is here or even for the Peripuranam, this thing, Ulagelam. So that was a sentence. So the importance to the Shaiva devotees, that's the point to be made. And then Sundaramurti Swamigal sings the entire thing, and which was picked up by Ambyandar Nami, and finally it was expanded as the Peripuranam by Sekilar. So this Namtodan is used for Kulottunga III. And we have a very beautiful depiction of Kulottunga in Thiruvalangadu with the holy padukas of Shiva on his head. So another inclusivity aspect of Tiruvarur festival, now we'll come to the festival directly. So of Tiruvarur festival is that there is an ritual which is practiced even now, that the Indra and Shachi, because from Indra, Muchukunda had brought uh, Tyagesha. So Indra and Sachi are honored even today. And the couple who are selected as Indra and Sachi today, they belong to a particular community which is normally considered or called as the Dalit community. And they are made to sit on an elephant. Since Airavata is not here, a regular elephant, they are made to sit on it. But a Shweta Chhatra, a white umbrella, a symbol of supremacy, okay, is held over their over their head by the temple authorities. So this is a very unique thing, and this is one of the starting points of the Utsava. Then, towards the end of the Masi, this Utsava starts, and then the Raksha Bandhana, Ankurarpana, and all that. And the first important event that takes place is called as Bhudam Nil Kondu Varudal. So this again is concerning Sundaramurti Swamigal. There was one agrarian by name Gundiyur Nilakida who would every year come and offer a part of his harvest to Sundaramurti Swamigal. One year the rains failed and he was unable to do so, and he was feeling very very bad, and he goes and prays to Tirukkolili, which is another one of the Saptavitanka Sthalani, very near to Tiruvarur. And the Lord is so so happy to serve his Adiyar. He blesses him with such a bountiful harvest that the next day, when Gundur Nilakadar goes and looks into his field has given almost 10 times when what it could produce at the best uh, uh, harvest season. So he quickly rushes to Sundaramurti Swamigal and narrates to him. And Sundaramurti Swamigal comes there in person to see this miracle. And he thanks the Lord in this particular pasaram, Neela Nirthadi. The interesting thing is that towards the end, he says, Alilai Emperuman avai attit tarappaniye. He says, look, you have given so much of paddy and others, but I don't have people to carry it all the way to Tiruvarur. You better make arrangement for that also to be delivered to my house. So it is said that the overnight, the Bhutaganas, they carried the entire harvest and dropped it on the streets of Tiruvarur, since The harvest was so bountiful, it was scattered all over the streets of Thiruvarur. And when the news reached Paraviyar, the wife of Sundaramurti Swamigal, she said, anyone can take whatever is there in front of their house for their consumption and to feed the adiyars during the festivity. So this is basically a preparation to collect the sufficient materials to feed the adiyars who are going to come during the festival, which is going to be held for the another next 40 and odd days. So this is first. Then the most important thing is the Mahadhwaja Arohana, very beautifully captured by Muthuswami Dikshitar in his Sri Raga Kriti, wherein he has uh, captured the most important um, parts of the festival from the Mahadhwajarohana till the Anugrahatmaka Pada Darshanam. So I have taken a few of these uh, things that has been enlisted here, and this is the Sangeeta Sampradaya Pradarshini version of the particular song, which is one of the oldest and the authentic version of this particular Kirtana. So, in want of time, I'm not going to play the thing. Then comes the Tyagaraja Mahadvajarohana. So, once again, the devotees are put to the forefront. So, this happens in the presence of Tirunjana Sambandar. So, Tirunjana Sambandar is presiding over this Mahadvajarohana, which happens in the Hasta Nakshatra on the day when the Hasta Nakshatra is there. This I will just like, it's a very small clip. So this is the Dharmadhwaja or Rishabhadhwaja Arohana. And on this day, the Utsava Patrika is distributed. Now, this is once again unlike in any other place. Because in all other temples, the Patrika will come first, then the Dhwajarohana and others. But here the Patrika will be given only after the Dhwajarohana takes place, because the reason I had mentioned about Kulottunga III was that he had captured the wordings that are still used in the Patrika. And the Patrika here has two versions. One is where the Lord Tyagesha himself is inviting, and this is how it opens. Yajnatraya nirmana trana nirvana karanam tad idam shasanam shambhoho purvarur vasinam. And he ordains that for this festival conducted in his honor and in the honor of his friend, which is Sundaramurti Swami. So both of them receive this thing in the honor in the Patrika. So நம்மை சேவை பண்ணி கும்பிட்டு இருக்க ஆண்டார்கள் பேர். So this information is then passed on to Chandikeshwara. And Chandikeshwara then takes the Agnya of Tyagesha, and then he sends out another set of invitation, wherein he says, Sri Tyagaraja Shivagnyale Pariparanam Adichandeshwarar Aran Arulal Ipputalathil Devalayangaliல் உள்ள தேவர்கள் வரவும். So it is, I don't know if invitation is the right word, it is an Agnya. So he is ordering every Devas, every Shaivas who are residing in the world to come and participate in this particular festival. So this Ahvana Patrika of Chandikeshwara is then given to the Adiyars. Another feature is that the Shaiva monks would be also be given a Kaupina and a, a Karvata, that is the begging bowl, because to facilitate for their stay during this month-long uh, uh, this thing, to make it more comfortable, a Kaupina and a Bhiksha Patra or Tiruvodu as it is called is given to them. Then comes the Ganesha and Subramanya Utsava, which goes on for 7 days. Before that, there is also the Grama Devata Utsava and all. I have not included that in this schedule. So after the Subramanya and Ganesha Utsava, there is a Bhakta Utsava. It's a very important because it is an Utsava for the Shaiva devotees. So here we will find Tirnyana Sambandar, the upper, and Manikya Vachakar in one chappara, and um, Cheraman Perumal and Sundaramurti Swamigal in another chapter. So each day, each one will be taken around, everyone will be taken around in procession, but prominence being given to them. So this Bhaktotsava, so before his Utsava, Tyagesha ensures that the Bhaktas, his Shiva Bhaktas are given that honor. Then as per the Shaivagamas, there is a Maheshwara Muhurta Utsava that has to take place. Two Muhurtas come out. One is Kala Bhairava, which is the first. So Kala Bhairava goes around and he performs the Digbandhana, and he does, he accepts the Bali Svikara in all the things to ensure that the festival happens without any hindrance. Then comes the Karchikuduttara, the Vrishabhantaka Utsava. So once again, Karchikudutar is connected to Dandi Adigal, one of the Nayanmars, who had strived hard to revive the Kamalaya tank, which was being closed by the Shramanas. So they were covering up the tank with by pouring the mud into it. And Dandi Adigal single-handedly tried to renovate the Kamalalaya Kshetra. And in this effort, all the turmoils that he goes through and kind of thing, and Lord appears to him in the form of the Vrishabhantaka, and that particular form is called as Kachi Kudutar. Kachi Kudutar. That's one who had given the Darshana. And this is how he looks. And it is considered as per the temple manuals to be none other than the Srikantha Rudra himself. Then comes Chandrasekhara. So, just like in Chidambara, in Tiruvarur also, even though the main Murti is Tyagesha, in Chidambara it is Nataraja. The Nataraja and Tyagesha will come out only for the most important festivals, which is the Rathanas. For all others, they have in Tiruvarur, it is the Chandrasekhara who acts on behalf. So he accepts the honors on behalf of Tyagesha. So it's called a Chandrasekhara Parivattam. Okay, so he takes on the role and accepts the honors on behalf of. And there it is the Somaskanda in Chidambara. So next 5 days are in honor of Chandrasekhara. Then comes the most important, which is the Vasantotsava, which happens in the Kritika Nakshatra in the Panguni month. So this was the day Tyagesha came Tiruvarur. And this happened in the evening. So Tyagesha will never come out in the daytime. Tyagesha will always be in the evening. So even for the Ter or the Rathotsava, he would go and mount the Ratha in the night itself. So he would not be seen by or he would not be touched by the rays of the sun. It is because he reached Tiruvarur in the evening. So he is called as INDICA. So it's a very in the Vasanta Mandapa this takes place, and he is called as Kamala Vasanta Tyagesha because in the Vasanta in the Kamalaya Kshetra, Tyagesha entered, and so when he comes out from his Garbhagriha to Vasanta Mandapa, everywhere or every time he has to move from one location to the other, the movement would be done only by performing the Ajapanatan. So this is called as the Hamsa Ajapanatana or just Ajapanatana. So Ajapanatana it's a yogic thing. I would just like to play this very short clip for you to understand how Ajapa. So you would have seen that unlike all the other murtis, which you will normally carry using two support sticks. Here Tyagesha is lifted only using one, which is called as a Manikka Tandu or Pillai Tandu. Because it represents the Sushumna Nadi. The two sides of the Ratna Simhasana are the Ida and the Pingala, and it is the Swasha which is going up and down. The Kundalini, the movement of the Kundalini, okay, which is in sync with the Swasha, okay, which is enacted as the Ajapanatala. A lot more has to be or can be said about it, but this is the hint that I can give right now. So after this, the next major thing is Ashtadik Dhwajarohana. So apart from the main Dhwajarohana, there are 8 other Dhwajarohana. In the 8 directions, the Dhwajarohana takes place. And the Agamas say that this happens only in the Uttamottama Kshetras, such as in the Tiruvanekal or in the Tiruvalavai or the Madurai, where we have the Ashtadik Dhwajarohana that takes place. So this happens, followed by 5 days of Vahana Utsava. Starts with Indra Vimana because Indra was the one who had given Tyagesha Murti to Muchukunda. So the first Vimana or the first Vahana is Indra Vimana Vahana. It is followed by Bhuta Vahana. All these are captured by Utsava Dikshitar in the Sri Ragavati. Then comes the Gaja Vahana. And one point to be noted here is this Gaja Vahana is not the Airavata. Airavata is the Vahana of Indra. Whereas Tirunavukar Swamigal in his Tevaram, he makes it very clear that Airavana is the elephant of Shiva himself, which is supposed to have, one record says 1,000, other record as per this in 2,000 tusks. So he captures this Airavana Mera Tane Reri. There is, instead of riding on the Airavana, this is actually for the Rishabha Vahana. But just to mention that the Airavana is the name of Shiva's Vahana elephant. So he had given up riding on Airavana and he is now riding on the Rishabha. And he had given up all the pleasures of the Indraloka and the Devalokas, and he is coming and living in Tiruvarur. So what should be the greatness of Tiruvarur? So that's the song of Persona. So Airavana Vahana, followed by Vrishabha Vahana. The last is Kailasha Vahana, which happens very, very quick. So they will just quickly bring the Lord because on that night he has to start for the Ratha. It is called as an Aditya because Ashlesha Nakshatra. On the Ashlesha Nakshatra, Ilium. Okay, so the Rathotsava takes place. The Agamas give multiple thing about, I think there are other speakers who will throw more light, so I'll just touch upon it. Ratharohana is considered to be an act of samhara, where the Tripura Samhara is the Trimala, which is captured by Sri Tirumula. Mupparmavadu Mummalakariyam Apparum Yedume Yarerivari. So it is a kind of an samhara and at the same time a kind of an anugraha also. One of the two of the most important krityas which the Lord himself holds on to. And this Rathotsava is also very special in Aarur because he is normally facing the east. Whenever he comes out for any of the important functions, Tyagesha will face the south. Because south in the Siddhanta is the direction for the Jnana. It's a Jnana Dik. And the Rathotsava also, he will first mount the chariot facing the south. And then this particular Rathotsava starts, and it is a one-day festival. Earlier, it used to be even 7 days would be required to move this heavy chariot around the streets of Tiruvarur. And just play 2 small clips for you to appreciate how that Ratha is. So he will
Tyagaraja Swami.
Yeah. So Tyagesha will come from his Vasanta Mandapa to climb
தேருக்கான இறுதிக்கட்ட அலங்கார வேலைகளான பூமாலைகள் போர்த்தப்படுது. விநாயகர், முருகன், அம்பாள், சண்டிகேஸ்வரர்னு எல்லா சுவாமிகளும் எடுத்து வரப்பட்டு அந்தந்த தேர்கள்ல ஏற்றப்படுது. இப்ப ராஜாவோட என்ட்ரி. வித்தியாசமான பண்டைய கால தீவிட்டிகள், கைலாய வாத்தியங்கள் முழங்க மக்களோட பக்தி வெள்ளத்திலையும் ஆரூரா தியாகேசான்னு விண்ணை முட்டும் ஒளியிலையும் தியாகராஜ சுவாமி அஜபா நடனம் ஆடிட்டு வராரு. சுவாமியை தோள் மேல வச்சுக்கிட்டு அஜபா நடனம் எல்லாரும் ஒண்ணு சேர்ந்து ஆடுறது இந்த தேர் திருவிழாவுக்கான முக்கிய நிகழ்வா பார்க்கப்படுது. அப்புறம் தேர்முட்டியில இருக்கிற குறுகிய பாதை வழியா கொண்டு வரது எல்லாருக்கும் மிகப்பெரிய சவாலா அமைஞ்சிருக்கு. தியாகராஜரை தேர்ல ஏற்றின உடனே ஒரு அரசரை போல இந்த சிம்மாசனத்துல அமர வைக்கப்படுது.
So another important thing which is special of this thing is that the Naivedya, the first Naivedya to Tyagesha is offered cooked in the house of a Rudraganika. So they are called as Kundi Paramparai. So they will cook something called Marundu. It's a kind of an herbal concoction. That will be offered as soon as he climbs and has the first Mangala Arati in the Ratha. And not only that, when they are doing this offering, all the others, where there are 18 different types of special musical instruments in Tiruvarur. And none of these musical instruments would be playing at the time of this particular thing. The Sahasranama says Ashtadasha Vadyagana Priyayam. So Ashtadasha Vadya. None, everything will be silent. Only the representative member from that family would sing, dance, and offer the sing. And this is cooked in their home. So this is something that is very, very unique, which we cannot find anywhere. So a small clip. So that was, you can imagine there are almost 2 to 3 lakh people who are standing there. And at the time of the they singing, you would have seen a kind of a pin drop silence in that particular place. So the first honor is given to the Rudraganika family there in Tiruvarur. And the chariot itself is described to be a form of a Shiva Linga with Brahma Bhaga till the platform, Vishnu Bhaga till the lintel level, where true to the Kshetra Mahatmya, Tyagesha is present in the Vishnu Bhaga, and Rudra Bhaga is the top portion. And each of the directions that Tyagesha faces, so first is south facing. So he assumes the form of the Aghora Mukha, and then he will start turning towards the west. So by the time he turns to the street facing the west, which is the Satyojata Mukha, it will be noon. And the Agama says that the Satyojata Mukha should be worshipped in the noon in order to get prosperity and others. So like this, we can have the Panchamukha Darshana of Chaturmukha Darshana. Actually, Ishan Mukha is not possible. And this is captured, this fervor of devotion is captured once again by Upper Swamigal when he says, Therurum Naduvidi Pattilendru Thirumalum. Yes, sir.
Are you approaching the conclusion?
Yes, sir. I am coming to the end. So even Thirumal and Nanmugan, that is even the Brahma and Vishnu, run behind the chariots, crying out the name of Aarura. So we find in the Muchukunda Sahasranama the Ratha Tattva, which is described. So there are the 6 wheels. There are 4 on the exteriors and the 2 which is located within. This 4 exteriors are the 4 petals of the Muladhara, because it is a Muladhara Kshetra. It is a Prthvi Kshetra. It is a Muladhara Kshetra. Valmikanatha is the Prthvi Linga here. So the 4 wheels stands for the Muladhara, petals of the Muladhara. Shoni Ratha Varasena. Then the 2 internal wheels are the Chandra and the Surya. Chandra Surya represent the Ida and the Pingala. So Chandra Bhaskara Ratha Chakrayana. And the entire thing is the Shat Chakra Devata, starting from Ganesha, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, Jivatma, Paramatma, all. And finally, we come to the middle portion, which is the Vidya Tattva. So Tyagesha is established in the Vidya Tattva, and the upper portion is the Shiva Tattva. So the Sahasranama calls it Tritattva Ratha Samsthayi Shiva Tattva Vimanayan. And they are also all the way up to the Eka Chhatra, the fly, the flag, okay, which is the Kevaladvaita Shiva Bhava. And the height of the chariot is 96 feet, which represents the 96 tattvas of a Sharira. After the Rathotsava, he comes back and comes to the Rajanarayana Mantapa, where a Sahasra Kalashabhisheka, Prayaschitta Kalashabhisheka is performed, followed by the Bhikshatanotsava and Tripura Samhara. So Bhikshatanotsava of Tiruvarur is considered to be very, very enchanting. And then we have the Tirthavari, so where Chandrasekhara, Astradeva, and Nataraja, all the 3 now perform the Tirthavari and give the Tirtha Prasada. Tirtha is something that which removes the Naraka Bada and which ensures the Sashvata Shivapada. Then is the most important thing, which is the Panguni Uttaram, where the Mahabhisheka for Tyagesha is done. And he gives the Pada Darshana as he had given to Patanjali and Vyagrapada. So there is a shrine, there is a place near which is called Vilamal. From Vilamal, Patanjali and Vyagrapada will come to Tiruvarur in the evening, and the whole night the Mahabhisheka will be performed. And in the morning, one can see the foot of Tyagesha. So it can be done, it can be seen only twice a year. One is during the Margali Tiruvadire, and the other is during the Panguni Uttaram. So this Pada Darshana is very, very important, and this happens in the Rudra Pada Darshana Mantapa. And after that, he goes to the Devashraya Mantapa, about which I had referred, where the Adiyars had all sing. So here again, there is an Abhisheka that takes place, and Bhaktar Kakshi, which is the final this thing of the Utsava. So Bhakta Kakshi is considered to be the Chakshashi Deksha. So the Somaskanda Tattva is for any thing you need an Agni, you need an Acharya, and you need the Kunda. So Deva, that is Shiva, is the Acharya, Kunda is the Devi or Uma, and Agni is Soma. So Soma Skandamurti is considered to be the most Paripurna Bimba in the Shaivagama, most suited for performing the Diksha. And when Tyagesha comes, he performs the Chakshashi Diksha, the Nayana Diksha, and he removes the malas of the devotees, all the bhaktas, whether they are Sakala, Kevala, or Pralayakala. Okay, he removes and he gives the Diksha. So this is a very, very important thing. And the Vitana is called as, that is the Devashraya Mantapa is a Sahasra Stambha Mantapa. Okay, 1,000-pillared hall. 1,000-pillared is only when the Lord enters. Till that time, it will be incomplete. So even now, if you go, the some of this will not be covered. Only when the Utsava takes place, it becomes 1,000 pillar. Even in other places like Madurai and others, you will only see 999 pillars. The 1,000th being the 1 feet of Lord Nataraja or Somaskandamurti there. So this Pandal, okay, is called as the Ananda Yoga Bandha. And then it comes to a close with Nilotpalamba Utsava for 4 days, Chandesha Utsava, Dvaja Avarohana. Last is the Acharya Utsava, wherein the Acharya is honored, and he will be taken all the way to his home, and he would be thanked for successfully conducting this long Utsava. So, with this, I conclude the speech. Dhanyavada, Nagaraj garu, for this opportunity. Shri Guru Vijayata, Sri Tyagaraja Vijayata.
Absolutely amazing presentation. Ketuji, as always, this is both scholarly and it has got a lot of ethnographic reporting of how the whole festival goes. And it has the depth of interpretation also, the meaning of happenings in the Tiruvarur festival. I think actually this is one of the rare opportunities for those who want to understand. Also, I'm checking if there are any questions. One Bharti Chibberji, Dr. Bharti Chibberji is asking if you have any book title link on the subject. Oh, that was probably for another talk for me. Okay, so later to that, I don't see any questions. Dr. Ganeshan ji wants to respond to your talk. Ganeshan ji.
I just want to convey that the speaker mentioned the Nataraja Paddhati. In fact, I have brought out the first edition of the Nataraja Paddhati from a single manuscript. It was published last year, few months back. And
Congratulations, congratulations, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes.
If you have a copy or the cover page, you can flash it to the audience.
Just 1 minute.
Yeah, please flash it to the audience.
Are you able to see?
Yeah. We are able to see you and we are able to see the book also.
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Congratulations and thank you, sir, for bringing out such an important text from the manuscript. Do you know how many more manuscripts of Nataraja Paddhati are available, or is it the only manuscript available?
Yes, it is a Codicus Unicum. So it is a single manuscript.
Oh, wonderful.
So it is the work was a little bit difficult to reach to the correct readings. So and there will be 2 more volumes because it is a voluminous Paddhati. So it was composed in the 11th century by the Golaki Matha Acharya. And the exact date is 1056. That is composed. And yes.
Amazing, amazing.
Yes.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Okay, thank you.
Did you organize any launch for the book?
Not generally. Now it is published in the French Institute series, collection anthology series. Normally it is just announced publicly on the different forums. And I think I have announced it in the Bharatiya Vidvat Parishad also at the time.
No, actually what happens is the Indology circles, Sovas and all these people, they keep announcing every one of their publications in a big way.
Yes.
And if these publications are not known to them, it will be a problem. I think you should mention in their forums.
Yes, of course it is announced in their forum also, as well as in the Vidvat Parishad, Bharatiya Vidvat Parishad forum also.
Bharatiya Vidvat Parishad is limited to Indians.
Yes, of course.
But they should know.
Yes, I am one of the members in the Indology forum also. So it is already.
So you announced already?
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yes.
So they should know.
Yes. Before concluding, I have one correction to the information sent by Ketu Ramachandrasekhar. He mentioned the Vrishabha placed before, opposite to the sannidhi of Tyagaraja. Vrishabha standing posture. It is Vrishabha standing posture, but not Adhikara Nandi. Adhikara Nandi is different, entirely
Yes,
different
yes.
from Vrishabha. And
Yes,
Adhikara
yes.
Nandi is a human form with 4
Right, right.
hands, with major Shiva's attributes, of course, with
Condition,
Anjali
sir. I
Hasta.
completely agree. I completely
So,
agree, and I am of
and
the same opinion.
yes, yes,
But
and
that way it is given in the bracket because that is how people refer to it. That's all.
yes, yes. So there is a lot of confusion between Nandi and Vrishabha. It is totally wrong. And I
Yes.
have presented a paper on this topic 3 months back in IGNCA conference. It is
Gaurinath
going to be
Bhattacharya
published.
also had written very extensive paper on it.
Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. So we today are fortunate to have you all great scholars on Shaivism, Shaiva Agamas, and we had Deepadara Swami in the morning, and now we had Ketu Ramachandrasekhar ji, and we are going to have Ganeshan ji also. Now, after the talk by Ketu Ramachandrasekhar ji,